I can't even keep track of which one you're talking about.
I have no idea what I'm doing anymore.
So interesting thing about Gibraltar with these two teams is they didn't play on it last time, even though a lot of the time Gibraltar is a map that most teams were kind of preferring to select throughout at least the first week of group play phase 1. They did, however, play on Route 66. Luminosity took that 3-2 against Immortals. On Nepal, it was 3-2 in favor of Immortals. And on Anubis, oh, that definitely went Immortals' way. Luminosity not able to put together as much of a presence as they usually have. A great, not their usual performance on it, but this is going to be the first time we're going to see them on Gibraltar here in the group play phase. Again, I still think it's in the favor of Immortals overall. I think Luminosity is a team that can absolutely beat Immortals. I think any team that's left in here can beat another one. However, I think if Luminosity has any real tricks up their sleeve, they might be waiting to debut those when it's going to matter a bit more in the top 4. So right now, I wouldn't expect anything crazy or special out of them. Probably just play a regular game and see if they can probe for any sort of weaknesses in Immortals. But if Immortals breaks out anything different, that'll certainly throw that little plan off.
Absolutely. Well, it is Immortals on the offense to get us going here on Watchpoint. Gibraltar and Luminosity will be starting on the defensive end. And pretty standard comps from both of these teams. Quad tank across the board. But
big biotic.
Actually, it's going to be
Edan to start that out. 20% already. What happened with that
Agilities,
hook?
where are you going? Oh, man. He is so lucky he didn't get pulled in right there. But is going to open things up a little bit for Immortals as they take out Mineral.
Looked like Ube was flying him like a kite.
Yeah, it's a big kite, man. I don't even. Well, either way, hyped. Gonna go and put some pressure in on the back line of Luminosity, but quickly being removed from his mech, and now got the Bunny Blaster just gonna be pumping damage out. And Immortals already 2 kills. Mineral getting pulled in by Agilities. See ya, pal. And I think Agilities and Nami get the award for crushing first point. But now there's a whole lot of forward spawns coming out from Luminosity too. That is so unfortunate. Luckily, it's enough for them to have so many that Immortals can't push the issue here. And actually, they might end up paying for it because Agility's now getting put to sleep. Good sustain from the rest of the Immortal squad, though. Keeping Agilities up, couldn't quite do it for long enough, though.
It's all of Luminosity versus Agilities for a second there. Agilities holding on for longer than you'd expect in that scenario.
Oh, man.
But Luminosity, even though they've already given up the first point, they're going to be holding on to this one with 6 ultimates for the most part. I mean, just 15% left for Mineral. He'll get that somewhere in the next fight. Immortals, they don't have a whole lot building for them. I guess you could say, actually, nope, now I take a look at it. Sometimes those numbers just get a little bit blended together for me from this angle. They're going to have 5 online for their next fight. Agilities already pretty low on his. Either way, both teams locked and loaded. A standoff, arms race, if you will. Graviton coming out from Luminosity, followed up by a Biotic and being utterly mowed down by the rest of Luminosity. Immortal's going to go packing right back into spawn. And it looks like that's 4. Hyped barely getting away. Actually, no, he's going to get demeched and soon thereafter staggered even more. It's going to be a lot of time bled off of Immortals, but they do have time to lose. 4 minutes on the clock for them to get through the second phase here on Gibraltar. Luminosity, they only really used 2 ultimates out of that. Yeah. And they are going to have 4 in this next fight.
Yeah, well, they had a pretty much a full boat going into the fight, so only using 2 right there and coming out with a win is very nice efficiency. Now they'll go reinitiate in with a self-destruct, and now there's going to be Graviton, self-destructs and earth shatters all over the place across both these teams, but Immortals losing Athan to start it off is not good for them, but
it's still moving.
Look at this. They're so far away from the Immortals players in the cart that they're just going to get loads of free ground off of it. I mean, they're going to end up dying probably, but they nearly even ninja cap it right there, Immortals. Oh, that's
just 3 meters away.
A bit of a defensive breakdown coming out from Luminosity. They got so focused on what was ahead of them that they forgot to check on the payload. It was just moving full speed ahead. Heads up play from the Immortals guys to get some free ground off of that. I mean, they basically just got the distance off the payload, similar as if they had won a fight.
Luminosity just about to get a Graviton online again. They're going to need that in order to keep Immortals from capping. Immortals, they have an Earth Shatter to work with, but everything else still developing a little bit. Perhaps Agility's whole hog will show up in the next fight, but other than that, Immortals are going to have to do it without all the ultimates to work with. Luminosity throwing out that Graviton already, and they're going to take it to Immortals.
Ooh, they got, well, Immortals, it's a 2-for-2 trade. So, oh, there it is. Now Luminosity coming through on the upper hand of that final fight, though. Agility's using the whole hog, and Super Pluke is incredibly hurt here. He should be pretty easy pickings. I mean, oh yeah, there's nothing.
Oh no! Coming in from the side from Spawn. Edan's gonna put him to sleep. Along with...
Oh, Ube? No, he gets far enough away from it to keep himself nice and healthy, though. Hype getting pulled back in. He stays in his mech long enough. And Nami getting pressed by the whole hog. Does get to meet up with the rest of the team here, the Immortals players, and now there's going to be a nano boost used from Ethan onto Nami. He's got to try and find some frags here, really, but there's a big Earth Shatter into the self-destruct. 3 kills for Icefelt. Off of that one, beautiful combination from Super Pluke and Icefelt. That's a thing of beauty right there, and it shuts down Immortals yet again. They're so close to getting the second point, but just can't quite seem to seal the deal. I'll see if they can get it. Again, 1:20 on the clock for them to do so.
They will have an Earth Shatter and a Graviton in the next fight, so they do have the tools they need. Both of those pretty low for Luminosity. Luminosity just with a nano boost and a sound barrier to defend. Those can definitely be enough if they can find the right targets with a nano boosted, probably D.Va. But I guess sometimes they throw it on Super Pluke depending on the scenario, or Spree if he gets it up high enough. But either way, right now, Immortals, a lot of staggered, strange fights. Immortals, these past few engagements.
I think Immortals really want to go for that Ninja Cat. The Hype went for it again, but now Sound Barrier comes out from Luminosity. I see this. They go in for a Graviton, but there's, I mean, you have nothing there to actually get effect out of the Graviton. It's just kind of using ults because they have them. Immortals, some of them, it's Grim Reality throwing it in, but now they're down to 30 seconds. They would have loved to have that Graviton coming into this fight, but not going to be the case. Grim Reality actually making a switch over to Tracer. This hangar phase defense from Luminosity has been pretty on point so far, and they have Earth Shatter and Graviton on top of that. It's gonna be nearly impossible. Oh, even the Earth Shatter from Nami doesn't quite connect, but Super Pluke totally whiffing on his Earth Shatter on top of that, but a huge Biotic Grenade landing inside of the Graviton Surge that Luminosity threw out there. 1-for-1 trade here. Nami gets another nano boost. He needs to convert on some of these kills. Ube, pretty hurt. Nami able to finish it off. Now Immortals are going to be able to pick up a couple kills. Now they start chiming through for Immortals. They should be able to get this second point pretty handedly. In the final seconds, they do it, but only 1:30 left on the clock for them to move this card as far as they possibly can.
Immortals, Grim Reality on Tracer for this. He's got a Pulse Bomb ready to go, but there's not a whole lot else for Immortals to use to get it into the second point here. Luminosity, Ube also changing over to Pharah. And Icefelt has a self-destruct, but again, a Sound Barrier pretty close for Mineral. Super Pluke about 30% away from an Earth Shatter, but Spree, he already used that Graviton, so it's going to be a while before he can pair that with anything.
At this point, Immortals, I don't know if they're going to be able to really cap out in full, but you just want to move it as much as possible. And the way they're looking right now, maybe they could cap it out in full. They've gotten another team fight win right here, and they'll have, it'll pretty much come down to one more fight to see if they can cap all 3 points. The response from Luminosity will be coming up momentarily, and there's some ults coming up online right now for Immortals, and a big Earth Shatter comes through from Super Pluke. Is going to put some down. Agility's even getting a nano boost. Kills Ube, looking for a little more. Nami got taken out of this fight though, so there is no shield around Hype. Taking out Mineral with the self-destruct, but they need to string more of these kills together and get these Luminosity players off the payload. They are coming through for Immortals, but they're also losing guys in the process. So Hyped and Grim Reality, really the only two up there at the moment. Ethan sitting in the back, oh, what an Earth Shatter coming through from Nami. That'll allow Immortals to clean up on quite a few of the Luminosity players left. Now Super Pluke charging back, has a nano boost, and Nami, who is incredibly hurt, is still standing out there on the payload, but Immortals, in the final seconds, in overtime, will be able to cap off that final point. And just barely, but even Agility's coming back. We've seen him do it before. Coming back on his lovely Genji that he is great with in the final seconds of a game, but Immortals making it happen. Oh, I didn't even realize they gave a nano boost through that second phase. Yeah, the mineral, that's actually a pretty... I didn't even realize at the time. That's a pretty big miss on the nano boost. I mean, had they given that to someone that can really make use out of it, it could have been a much different scenario for Luminosity.
I think that was happening a little bit off camera at the time. It could have been intended to make him hardier for a hold, but given his overall position, unless he got charged off or something, that's pretty unlikely. Often Lucio jumping up at a very inopportune time for catching nano boosts, even at the pro level.
Yep, it happens to the best players still. Probably not quite as often as maybe it happens to some of us in matchmaking, but definitely happens nonetheless. So now we go to the change of sides. Immortals narrowly getting that third and final checkpoint. Hyped? Well, no, he's not going to stick on that. But there he goes, switching back. And see what Luminosity decides to bring out on the offense. Please, guys, push the payload. He's
this was cracking you up the last time he was doing it. Immortals will be having Grim Reality on Soldier 76. That could very well be a death sentence for Luminosity on its own. Grim Reality, a dangerous Soldier 76, but I'm sure Immortals will be bringing Ice Fell to fly directly in his face and try and shut him down as much as possible. Luminosity very likely to just try and steal that high ground back away from him. But we saw Baby Bay take off knowing that was coming in their own match with Kungarna, switching positions and actually getting up on a different high ground, which ended up working out for him on the full hold.
Well, now Luminosity starting their offense off. Ube back on the hog. Looking for hook opportunities. Just Grim Reality is that's 76 on D. Just be playing up on the high ground. The Immortals doing a good job of controlling a lot of high ground at the moment. Even Agilities is up there, along with Hyped, who's they're making Luminosity look in many different directions as they come through this choke point, looking basically in 4 different directions. They come up here with Immortals players surrounding them, but they lose Verbo early to Icefelt. That's going to be a bit of trouble for Immortals, especially now as they lose Hyped. He gets demeched inside of the server room. The only issue with Immortals during that hold, I mean, they made Luminosity look in a bunch of different areas, but then Luminosity just picking the targets that they want to focus down, and Immortals a bit spread out in different areas, and didn't quite come back together at any point. Oh, nice hook from Ube. Taking out Grim Reality, and Luminosity cruising certainly at the moment, though. Actually, just as I say that, Immortals striking right back, getting the nano boost is Hyped, and really pressing Luminosity back here, looking to stagger as hard as they possibly can. So they've maintained their presence in the hangar phase here. Going to go back set up on the high ground for the next fight.
Immortals will have, looks like, 4 ultimates online for the next fight. A little bit of generation for them to do to get those online, but Luminosity, similar story for them. About 5, count Ube, who's working on his at the moment. Should be a lot of weaponry for Luminosity to try and push all the way through. Hedan picking up 1 throughout that. Immortals.
Yeah, right at the very beginning of this fight. I don't even know how that happened. You don't want to be losing guys that early, though. If you're Immortals, I mean, he did get himself back pretty quickly. Immortals could cut it off for a moment, but now with Hype going down, they're going to be yet another player out of it. So one player disadvantaged now, and Agility's getting hooked. Oh, that's easy cleanup. Ube's really been hitting some big hooks here, and they'll going with a Graviton, whole hog, and more kills to add to Ube's collection. And that will be Luminosity. You do have Immortals sending Hype back in, try and stall it out. We've seen some brilliant stalls on this point before. And Agility's getting back on Tracer as well. So the whole Immortal squad has made it back in, and they have an opportunity. Self-destruct flies up. Nami's got even an Earth Shatter, but the self-destruct won't do anything. This Earth Shatter's got to convert. That's a big one through from Nami. Grim Reality and him both finding some frags on top of Hyped. And they should be able to hold on here. Grim Reality getting pressured pretty heavily, but they convert on Spree. And it was just Icefelt who's still in. He'll get demeched and obviously stalled out for a little while here as well. So that is Immortals hanging on. Seen it time and time again. Teams able to come back in. Final seconds, get a good stall.
3 minutes on the clock for Luminosity's offense. Icefelt just now getting taken down. That's going to stagger Luminosity for just a little bit. See if they back off here. Yes, they are, especially being aided by Attack Visor from Grim Reality. Immortals finding 3, call it 4 in that last engagement. Luminosity going after, reassemble, and come back.
And Agility's got a little pulse bomb. Not too much else. That and their self-destruct. So the big thing Luminosity wants to look to is coming in with Graviton, maybe syncing it up with an Ube whole hog. They've had actually some success with that combination a couple of times. But Agility's looking for a very, very sneaky pulse bomb here on the back end side. Does make it connected. We'll be able to take out Hedan at least. So all that's really going to do, just slow it down. And you might even be able to find Ube, who was so hurt. Oh, he needed a rewind. Didn't have it, though. But the rest of Immortals want to play aggressively into that. They know that Ube was really hurt and he'd be an easy pick, but they just need to make sure they get themselves back quick enough once these spawns from Luminosity come up. And Spree still holding on to that Graviton. They'll be looking to use it in this next fight.
That's a minute gone from Luminosity. They are going to be looking for Super Pluke's Earth Shatter in the next fight, hopefully. But Spree and Icefelt, possibly the biggest combo they have right now, want to connect those two for a big bomb combo. Immortals, just the self-destruct to defend, but Nami's closing in on an Earth Shatter.
Oh, losing Grim Reality there, though. Many of Immortals have fallen victim to an Ube hook, and Ube actually with 3 there, the whole hog. Oh my. Will someone from Immortals be able to make it back and stall out again, though? That is going to be the question. Hyped is in, but he needs to put himself down onto the cart. Really, Grim Reality's there as well, but these right clicks are connecting quite a bit. Nami using his Earth Shatter, but there's just nothing coming through from the rest of Immortals. And Nami did get heat in. That's a big pick on the supports, but Luminosity now coming across with quite a few kills. And it should seal it, but Grim Reality and Athan are going to try and stall it out as long as they can. And maybe Hyped? No, Hyped will not be able to get back in time. So the rest of Immortals going back, respawning. They actually even get away off the forward spawn, and Luminosity really looking to punish if they can, but Immortals did a good job of killing time throughout that hangar phase, and now Luminosity down to just 1 minute and 50 to try and bring the cart to the finish line.
The economy somewhat even across the field here, though. Grim Reality, he will be able to get a pulse bomb in the next fight, and that might tilt things. It just really depends on the kind of targets he's able to find and how quickly he can generate it. But usually Tracer, especially in the hands of somebody like Grim Reality or AZK, can bring it online relatively quickly. Nami, the recipient of a nano, he's going to go ahead and press directly into Luminosity. He's looking for a little bit of a hammer action on the opponent, but not really coming up with anything besides pushing back and buying some time.
Super Fluke did a good job of just keeping his shield up there and not giving him, because he knew Nami was looking for that Earth Shatter opportunity, and he's just pressing forward, but wouldn't give it to him, just kept the shield up, and the rest of the team made sure that they were sticking behind the shield for the most part. And Ube getting another hook onto Hyped. Does manage to get himself, but yes, the Earth Shatter now comes through from Nami. Grim Reality able to get heat in, but man, Ube has been really on point. He gets Nami, now a sound barrier from Immortals. A Graviton on top of that one coming out. A Spree secures a couple more kills for Luminosity, and they have so many more ults on top of that. Oh, the Pulse Bomb doesn't quite work out for Agilities, and Luminosity is pressing it forward. 30 seconds left on the clock here, and they still have so many ults to work with on the side of Luminosity. Almost 5. This is going to be incredibly difficult for Immortals to even convert on a fight win. 4 kills come through from Luminosity. My goodness, it's tough. Hyped has to come up huge for Immortals here. They need the respawns to come through. Super Pluke hitting an Earth Shatter. Didn't save it for the respawners though. So some Immortals players will come back up. It's almost down to the final seconds, but Luminosity just continue to ring through with kills right here. Winston coming back up. And at this point, I mean, Luminosity should be able to secure it in an overtime situation. Yes. So both teams will get a bit of time to go through a first point push. But if neither of them are able to convert, we are going to see a bit of a tie here. Oh, actually, no, we won't. Sorry. Yes, it's payload.
Only way they get ties if nobody even pushes the cart an inch.
Yes,
which
you're right.
Basically isn't going to happen.
I was almost thinking worst case scenario. That was just... So, somebody is going to win. Middle caster stuff, right? But they will have an opportunity at it. Both sides, a minute on the clock. And it will be Immortals starting off on the offensive end. Lumina's defense. Yes, Icefeld, I agree with you.
I'll keep you healed.
That's a pretty standard stuff.
So far,
Luminosity.
Pretty equal performances on both sides. Nothing flashy, nothing dominant. Both teams going through the first point relatively easily, stalling out a lot on the second point, getting there just in time for an overtime on the third, and finally completing it. So the real deciding factor here is going to be who's be able to push this cart further on the first stage of Gibraltar. Perhaps somebody can push it all the way through and get somewhere into the second, but Gibraltar's not exactly a forgiving map for 1 minute on the offense.
No, it is certainly not. And Luminosity playing up top on the high ground, a bit forward, but they'll just back up quickly as Immortals have also brought themselves onto the high ground to meet with them. And so far just gonna wait really till they come towards the top of this hill. And seeing them meet up momentarily. Shield War in full effect. Left side now Agility's looking for the hook, couldn't quite connect on it, and Super Pluke charging in pretty deep. He needs some support. Yeah, it's very dangerous for Super Pluke. Verbo converts on the kill, but Grim Reality was taken down, so they trade 1 for 1 at least. But now there's going to be 5 seconds left on the clock. So it's going to have to be... Oh, really, Hyped is the only one that's still sitting here. We are into overtime at the moment. Hyped is, oh my goodness, took down
Who needs
2 players. Screw the mech, man. Hyped is getting 2 kills with the Bunny Blaster. That's all he needs. Icefeld ejected from the mech. There we go.
They're going to go ahead and capture this first point and roll into the second phase. Doesn't look like Luminosity's going to be able to mount much of a defense. That's just Tracer. She should fall relatively soon here. Yeah, there we go. Everybody else. Yeah. Bit of a forward spawn. They're going to back up. Guess they're going to try and hold further back, but really right behind the gate is probably not a terrible location. I guess you probably want to press on that until the gate starts closing. Otherwise, it can be a trickier situation. There we go. Graviton rolling out from Luminosity.
Spree sending it through. Big Earth Shatter, though, coming out as well from Nami. And there's so many kills rolling through from Immortals at the moment. Hyped with a couple, Nami with a couple on top of it. Icefeld, oh, he'll be in there, but he will die rather quickly. So things just falling apart for Luminosity on this defense. And Immortals have, I mean, they've really gotten it together quite a bit. Look how far forward Hyped is playing, too.
I thought he was going to go boop somebody off.
Oh, that would have been...
I don't know if he can get that much distance, but it would be pretty close.
Well, Luminosity gotta get a hold right here with this Earth Shatter that they have in the back pocket, because if they don't, it's just gonna get out of hand very, very quickly for Immortals. And Nami sending forward with a nano boost. Oh my goodness, 2 more kills for Immortals coming in. Luminosity being picked apart 1 by 1 by the #1 squad in the Winter Premiere. Icefeld again, I'll be taken care of later on. A staggered kill, and it has just been all Immortals, all overtime here, and even a Graviton from Grim Reality. He's thinking about it, but I don't think we're actually going to see him use it. They don't even need it here.
Burn Spree's just going to fall right after that. Blood in the water.
Oh, man. This is about worst case scenario you can get for Luminosity at this point. I mean, just about. It's very, very close.
Taking it coast to coast in a minute is incredibly unlikely. But they are already taking it through the second point, so what do I know? Immortals getting ready to round the final bend into the third point. Luminosity beginning to mount a better defense. Grim Reality, he's looking for what's going to be a big graviton.
Ooh, that is a bit of a dangerous one, but he will be coming from the back with the graviton. It's a 2-for-2 trade. That Luminosity respawn is pretty darn close, though, so Immortals need to start coming up with some kills if they want to stick in the fight. Verbo doing a good job of continuing to stall the payload. They are close enough now. Sound Barrier comes out, and Hyped has a nano boost to try and convert this back for Immortals. Agility's landing the pulse bomb to take out Spree, and Immortals still continue to come out on top with the kills here, but Ube getting a nice hook to take out Agilities, and now Sound Barrier for Luminosity. Probably could have used it maybe at a more opportune time, and a huge Earth Shatter through from Nami as Immortals still just going and going and going on this offense. 3 kills for Hyped. And I think Mineral could have waited another moment for the Sound Barrier, a moment when they could have found full effect with it at least. And I think Immortals might really be able to bring this one all the way to the finish line. Icefeld is going to be on the cart. You have the respawns of Luminosity here, though. Super Pluke hitting a big Earth Shatter, and the frags need to come through from Luminosity right now. But they've traded back and forth. 2 and 2. Self-destruct from Hype. He's going to get right back on the horse, though. As Agilities is alongside of him, but I don't think Immortals now is going to have nearly enough firepower to stay in this one. As Ethan shortly to go down. Hyped and Agility still in. I can't believe that these guys are actually still alive in this fight, especially Agilities. He's been zipping around the whole time. They've bought so much time. Oh, but the Graviton to pull them off. Nami charges back on to save it momentarily. Oh, but he got killed right after. He actually got pulled away again right after he made the charge onto the payload. Valiant effort. Nonetheless, good placement of the Graviton, too, to actually keep them off of it. But this set things up for Immortals to really almost bring it all the way to the finish line with 1 minute.
A monster time bake office out of Immortals. Luminosity, that is not a very likely distance to match, let alone beat. Getting anywhere close to it would be a gigantic success. Luminosity now going to have 1 minute to push it basically all the way across the map.
Good luck. It's going to be a tough, man. I mean, Immortals, obviously they just did it, but that is a, don't see that one often. Not often at all, but they're going to go for it anyway. We've seen it a couple times, I mean, in the Winter Premiere, where teams just get incredible.
Kungarna did it quite a bit.
Kungarna, yeah. Yeah. That's, well, we'll see. Let's see if either of these guys can pull it off here, but it is going to be Luminosity now trying to go for the monstrous offensive push coast to coast to try and take this map. It'll be a tough one. It'll be a tough one. This is only map 1, folks. Keep in mind, this is the last match, though, in our final day of group play here for the Overwatch Winter Premiere. We hope you're enjoying the time that you've spent here so far today. We've certainly had a lot of fun bringing these matches to you. And it will be pretty much one fight. Seal this, unless Luminosity win it and they can keep going. But if Immortals win one fight, that's about game over. And will be map number 1 going their way. But Luminosity have put up a tremendous fight thus far. And Nami goes down early for Immortals, so a bit of an opening for Luminosity. But at this point, they really can't afford to lose anybody, but that pick onto Verbo right afterwards is going to really help out the cause for them here. Immortals are going to back off should be able to get out for a second point, at least an attempt to hold it here. They do have respawns coming through. Nami is out. He's swinging away with the hammer. Ethan will give off that nano boost. That's 2 kills going the way of Immortals. Spree is trying to keep Luminosity in the fight at the moment, but Immortals are coming out on the better end of the numbers game. Ube with the nano boosted whole hog couldn't get anything other than 1 kill, and that's Immortals securing map number 1 in this match against Luminosity. A close one in the end, but Immortals just a bit too strong on that defense.
The game's going to call that 3-5. It's a little bit closer to 3 to 5.9, if we want to be honest.
Yeah, that's
very, very close, but you got to get it all the way to get that 6th point. Only one team has done that, and that was Kungarna on Gibraltar, as we talked about at the last match.
Yeah, that was like just incredible. It amazes me that teams can make that coast to coast in a minute, and yet other times struggling with, 6 minutes on the clock to move through. But hey, man, sometimes, especially when you're on the defense and you're like, oh, we just got to win one fight, you go in and kind of take some just not the best fights in that scenario. I was going to say, it's probably
easier for whoever goes first, because the defense at that point is not so much willing to give up a little bit of territory to have a full wipe. They just want to constantly keep the cart from moving very far. But if you're going second, and you're on defense the second time around, it should be pretty easy. You basically just build your ultimates, wait for the right time, and slam it down, because you know exactly how far they have to push it.
Exactly.
But in that situation, certainly Immortals not even needing to really back off at all. Just a little bit to get Verbo back in, but then just a cascade of ultimates pounding that point into the ground.
One of the most impressive moments from Immortals was that Baby Diva play on the first point of overtime, just able to completely stomp on players all by herself. Was crazy.
Hyped out of mech. The guy's good in mech. He's apparently pretty good out of mech. He's sitting here trying to stall.
Now, if you could get like a Soldier 76 gun to fire the rounds that either Baby Diva or Mercy has,
I would just be
a real one-man army.
Yeah.
I'm sure some mod community's done that somewhere. They've probably also made Soldier 76 to like shoot like mech suits.
Yeah,
it just like lags the game out real fast or something.
That's the beauty of it. You get to do whatever you want. But, somewhere out there in another universe, they have some crazy ideas like that. But, yeah, Baby Diva, man, got to watch out for her.
Able to pull that one off. Now, Luminosity, as they like to do, is taking us to Temple of Anubis for map number 2. This is where they like to make their full holds. We'll see if they can do it here. Immortals has looked good on Anubis as well, though.
They have. They have indeed. I mean, I still see Immortals pulling it out here. No, Luminosity's had success. It's still, I'm thinking Immortals. They got the skill. Ooh, God, I almost dropped my pen. Scared me. But
it's a terrifying thought to drop it.
My automatic reaction is to catch it. So I'm, but I still think this is all Immortals all the way. I don't know. You're giving me looks like as if you hate it, but
no, I think it's probably Immortals again. But Luminosity's pretty great at this map. He obviously selected it for a reason. Last time we saw them play it, it worked out for him. So this is probably one of the closer maps out of all of them that Luminosity can take them to.
Possibly the last map of the group stage. Let's get it underway.
Possibly. Immortals 1 map to 0. Final match of the group stage in the Overwatch Winter Premiere. And it will be Luminosity to start it off on defense. Immortals kicking off on offense. Luminosity have really enjoyed using Ube on the defensive side, particularly on this map. Ube on Farah, I should say.
He's played far on both sides.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really one of Luminosity's favorite picks in terms of DPS on Anubis. I mean, they also use it on some other maps as well, but really liking it on Anubis in general. So Immortals looking to go for a bit of a dive comp here, and I think they might be switching Nami to Wit. Yes, okay, I was going to say, it didn't make full-on sense to me to be running Reinhardt with that particular composition, but he does switch over to Winston to go for the full-out dive. And now it'll be Nami initiating right away for them, getting them split up. But Luminosity have the kills going their way, picking off both of the supports in the back. Ube and Icefeld able to do that, and Hype comes through to get Mineral, and Ube might even be able to be a late pick for them. Very, very hurt, and Grim Reality picks up on that one. And between a few of the kills that Immortals bring through, I mean, at this point, they're keeping themselves in it. If they can come back now and just waited out a couple of seconds for all their respawns to come up. Those Luminosity players are still coming back from spawn. And they might have an opportunity to take a very quick advantage momentarily.
Just run back. Furbo, if you're Lucio still alive, run back, pick some people up. You can definitely even keep pouring that advantage on.
But
so far right now, that's going to be dwindling as Immortals losing Nami. Luminosity coming back. They're answering with Spree a little bit, though, but right now, not a whole lot going for Immortals. Grim Reality, he might actually just going to find a little bit of a combination with Super Pluke here. They're going to pick it up with Hedon. There's only one more.
Wow.
Right after that, Luminosity's going to fall, and Immortals are just going to go ahead and take this point. It snuck up on us.
That turned the tides rather quickly with Immortals there. I thought they were going to have to go back, chill for a little bit, and regroup, but
Grim Reality's decided, no, let's finish it right now.
Yeah, he had other ideas than us, apparently. So Agility's now with a Dragon Blade and Aethan Transcendence. A couple of ultimates now at the ready for Immortals. And now you got to be careful with Spree towards the tail end of this. He will have a Graviton. The Transcendence is out, but once Spree has his Graviton, he'll be able to lay it in and no way for Immortals to defend necessarily directly against it anyway. Here it comes, 2 kills back in Luminosity's favor. Agility's found some decent value out of the Dragon Blade a little bit. Immortals are still scrapping out on the point, but they need to continue to string kills together, and they're losing a couple of players here and there, and every kill matters for Luminosity in this situation. There's no way Immortals are going to be able to pull it off. So they send Immortals back to the respawn queue, and they'll have to come back in on another attempt. I think they might be starting to switch to some more standard comps here. Hyped actually going over to Zarya, Nami to Reinhardt rather than the Winston. We'll see if this works out a little bit better for them, but yeah, Nathan going over to Ana as well. Like this a little bit more for Immortals, its composition. But here we go, Agility's starting it off, going in with another Dragon Blade, but a nice sound barrier from Mineral to negate pretty much the entirety of the Dragon Blade. Immortals still coming through with the kills. Grim Reality's really making things happen. Grim Reality with 3 in total there, 2 without the Pulse Bomb, chucking the Pulse Bomb in there and getting another one on top of it. And now Immortals definitely getting some time down on this point. If they can find a way to finish off Super Pluke here, who does have the Earth Shatter, they need to be careful when he comes back up, but they're so close to getting 1 tick down on the point. Luminosity continuing to get kills though, and Immortals really just need to get that 1 tick off if they can. The whole hog from Ube is going to help them secure 3 kills. And I think they did get it, though. In the end, yes, it doesn't start to roll backwards. So 1 tick up there for Luminosity, a good start. Immortals, a good start. 1 tick for them.
My ultimate is charging.
Luminosity looked like they were definitely on the ropes there. Agility is leading off that entire push for Immortals with a Dragon Blade that was pretty far ahead of the rest of their team. I mean, he was dead before they really showed up. But Grim Reality bringing the whole thing back with a big Pulse Bomb and just a lot of trick play after that. Now Immortals beginning another assault here on the second point.
This is what I want to see, though. Agility's back on the Road Hog now. That's 2 for Immortals. Agility's ended up going down to Icefeld, but Immortals can't really afford to lose anybody else here. They need to get kills, start putting time on this point. They are going to do that, very close to getting that 2nd tick. They do grab it. Now Luminosity's got to send someone onto the point. No one could get there in time. And that is Immortals getting 2nd point, 3:30 left in the time bank.
It's a good time.
Yeah, that's a pretty darn good time. Now, we'll see if Luminosity, we've seen some good offenses out of them, so they might be able to match it, but Immortals making this dive comp on the first point work, and we almost thought they were out of it, but they pulled through it in the end. I was surprised not to see Hyped run any sort of a Zarya with the dive composition. Of course, you can make it work with a Diva too, and Hyped, I'm sure, is most comfortable on the Diva, but they get it done regardless, and that's what matters for them. So changing it up, but Immortals have themselves in a great position right now. 3:30.
That's going to be Luminosity's turned on offense here.
Yes, sir.
4 minutes on the clock for them to take the first point. If they take that, they'll get an extension of another 4 minutes to assault the second point. this map was Luminosity's selection. So you would expect them to be pretty good at it. Probably have a plan for victory, but with the time put up by Immortals, that's pretty tricky.
Yes, so far they're showing Ube Genji off the start here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it. We've seen Ube do quite a bit of Genji in the past. Are there any Tommies on this map?
Yes.
There are Tommies?
Yes.
Wow. Well played, Loading Bay.
Watching your back.
Here we go. Luminosity. Oh, hey! There you are. I was waiting for you. There it is. Luminosity and Immortals.
Probably. Definitely a Tommy on the map. There's probably a whole lot of them in chat right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, that concussive
Couldn't quite
was
get it.
almost gold.
Was almost gold. Not quite. Sitting more at out of a brass right now. Maybe a silver. And balsa wood maybe, since he really didn't get anything with it. But
It's changing complete materials. That doesn't even make sense.
and now Luminosity trying to move up the right-hand side. And later Ube out the hook of agilities. 3 kills coming through from Immortals. Verbo only at 36%. Nami already with an Earth Shatter up, so he'll have that locked and loaded. Well, almost locked and loaded for the next fight. Both the supports of Luminosity that were caught in actually ended up getting kills. And Verbo without the telly, it's going to be a bit till some of these players get back into the fight. So Luminosity want to try and go quick here because they're going to have a brief moment with the numbers advantage. But for Immortals, they're just going to try and back off, wait till they get their players in before really taking an engage. See, they already do have Nami back into the fight with his Earth Shatter, and that'll be pivotal for them. Does use the Earth Shatter, putting some guys on the ground. Oh, you got to go convert on those frags. It's Edan out of it. Nami ends up falling. I thought there was a couple more pretty easy picks for them there, but apparently not the case. 1-for-1 trade. Teleporter is up for Immortals, though. And now there is going to be a nano boost off on the side of Immortals as well, and Grim Reality's got some big-time charge. Oh, they will hold it there. Agility's very upset on that missed hook.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left for Luminosity to capture the first point here. Otherwise, Immortals will take this map and the series and close out the entirety of group play for Winter Premiere. Luminosity have to take this all the way and get 2 points with time left in the bank. Otherwise, that's going to be it.
Very close to that Graviton. He's just waiting for the opportunity. But with Teleporter up, Luminosity, I didn't quite get a spot on where the Teleporter is, but I would assume either right by the point or behind. But I want to make sure they keep that protected, certainly. Luminosity with quite a bit of utility, though, coming up in the fight. Is hyped, playing underneath there is going to be the Graviton. Oh, Ube with 3 off of the Rocket Barrage. That is a big-time play, though. That Teleporter is still going to be up, so Luminosity need to go and find it, or that whole brilliant push that they just put out will be nullified. There was the Graviton used by Grim Reality, but it didn't really do a whole lot. There wasn't the follow-up, and Luminosity continuing to lay it on Immortals, even with the Teleporter there. And that is going to be absolute cleanup. Mow them down, Luminosity. And now they will grab first point. And they're going to be looking to take it into second. But no, they did switch off of the Symmetra now. Not pulling a complexity. Grim Reality making a switch over to McCree here as well.
4:45 left in the clock for Luminosity to capture the second point. They've got just over a minute in order to tie Immortals' time, but that should be the second thought in their mind right now. The first is simply evening this score up. Bro, Spree getting pulled all the way into the back by Agilities. He's going to be sent back to spawn.
Now, Agility's looking for maybe a couple more exit frags here, but Luminosity continuing to get kills here. Oh no, this is actually a bit disastrous for Immortals. Agilities was pressing up looking for some more kills. Meanwhile, Luminosity just outplaying Immortals on this point, and they even got rid of the Earth Shatter. Nami comes back up as a Winston, but Immortals are getting themselves enough kills at least to hold on to this point. Luminosity just aren't going to be able to get back and continue to put time down on it. Immortals just got too many players around, so.
Ah, that was dangerous enough that
very.
Luminosity made Grim Reality switch to Tracer.
Yeah.
Which pretty much guaranteed the point didn't get taken. Grim Reality, nasty hit scan player, switching over to McCree. After that, he was at 77% or so on Pulse Bomb, but
yeah, one
let
tick
the man
down.
choose.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good at both of them. He'd be just as impactful on the McCree, and I think for him, he really wants to be able, now that things have settled, he needs to be able to contest Ube on Pharah, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he made that switch back despite being close on Pulse Bomb, but now
That didn't work out.
there's going to be a self-destruct. Ooh, hyped. He's gonna play anti-air himself with the self-destruct and just take Ube down. Hype gets a second 2-for-2 trade. Icefelt doing some work on the Tracer, which we haven't seen him playing the Tracer quite as much recently for Luminosity. It's good to see him back on it because he is damn good at this class, at the hero, but Immortals still blowing through the rest of Luminosity there, and now it's 2:45 left for them to make the plays happen and take 2 ticks on the board, but if they have an opportunity, it will be coming up here on this next fight because they have a lot of ultimates.
And Nami already has an Earth Shatter for Immortals, and Agilities will have a Dragon Blade in the next fight. Verbo definitely going to need that sound barrier because Luminosity, they're locked and loaded with 5, almost 6 online, and they're certainly going to dump all of them to try and keep as much time on the clock for their second offense as possible, but really got to get that first one done.
Spree, Graviton lays it in on the point. That's 2 kills for Luminosity. They're investing a decent bit into this fight. Not yet the Rocket Barrage. That's still up, and an Earth Shatter through on the side of Immortals. There's going to be a Dragon Blade as well, but Luminosity are continuing to find kills. They also get 2 ticks down. Immortals need to get themselves back onto it. Nice Earth Shatter from Super Pluke might just seal the deal, but Agilities was there. They ends up getting off the point. Oh,
very close.
Oh, was so close to getting there. Just couldn't quite make it. So Luminosity do get 2 on the board. 1:44 left in the time bank for them. And Immortals will have a bit more on top of that. So we will see a second half, so to speak, on this map, but Ube again doing work. We saw earlier today when he was playing Pharah as well, just crushing on this map. And throughout throughout this week, really, when he plays Pharah on this map, he can get some tremendous value out of the hero. Plays it quite well, and that certainly paid off for Luminosity on the first point there, and even into the second. So,
2-minute advantage for Immortals. Luminosity's going to have to go first as well. 1:44 on the clock for their offense. Can probably get the first point, but second point after that, and just under 2 minutes is pretty difficult, but the first point might be enough. Immortals with 3 minutes and 30, hard to say that's a guaranteed second point at all. Often takes quite a bit longer than that. Second point, not guaranteed whatsoever to begin with. So Luminosity going to try and repeat some of that first point success that they had previously. Immortals going to have to mount a bigger defense than they did last time, although the last one wasn't bad at all.
Here we go, Luminosity. Not a whole lot of time to work with, but certainly enough to take that first point. All you need is one good push. You can lay it on in. Ube continuing to play Pharah on the offense. Going for that concussion. Will bring a little bit down with Nami falling early here. That's, oh no. And Furbo is going to go down as well. Luminosity with a brilliant opening to start this one off as Biotic landing on quite a few of the Luminosity players, but still, the Immortals need to start securing some kills or something, but all they're doing is continuing to lose players in this fight. Luminosity are putting a lot of time down onto the point, and if you're Immortals, you either need to go down and contest and die, or just go for the reset here. They're not going to be able to hold on for long enough, so Luminosity now heading on to the next point. 1:20 left on the clock. They are pulling it together here, as not gonna have a lot of time to work with, but certainly enough. Down to a minute. Really 2 good fights is all they're gonna have. Unless it's an extremely prolonged one, then they're not gonna have much more than that. Probably only 1 fight.
It's a very long run from spawn as well for offense.
Oh, getting put to sleep is Mineral, so an opportunity for Immortals. They are going to shut down at least this initial push out of Luminosity, but oh, getting hooked in. Icefelt managing to stay alive. They want to try and stagger him out a bit. Oh, poor guy. He's still in. Oh man, they are really playing this one out. But now 25 seconds, gonna be really 20 more till he can even get Icefelt back into play. And he will be coming up now, but actually switching over to Tracer to make sure he can get back quick. 10 seconds now for Luminosity. If they don't get this cap, Immortals will have 3:30. And to play on their second side. Now Graviton being laid out. There's a self-destruct. All the kills come in from Immortals. Yeah, 3 for them right there. That should seal the deal. Luminosity at least getting 1 point though, which is a brilliant effort out from them. Mineral will give it all he's got with a sound barrier on top of that. Agility shutting it down single-handedly with a couple of kills right at the end. And oh, Super Paluke's gonna go in for the charge. Not quite. But there it is, Luminosity with a good start to the offense. Now it's on Immortals, 3:30. I believe it is 3:30 on the clock. Yes, 3:30 on the clock to get 1 point. And if they only get 1, we're gonna see a draw. But if they do get 2, they will get the victory and take the series. Or if they get no points, then Luminosity takes the map, and we'll see a third and final one.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know if that's... I wouldn't call it likely whatsoever to take the second point that fast, but if Immortals is able to snowball off the first point into the second point, then it's certainly not off the table, but in my opinion, we're looking very likely at a draw here.
It's definitely looking that way. I mean, if Immortals come in, they might do it quick enough. They certainly could make it happen. We've seen some very quick pushes from teams on this map. I mean, if they take first rapidly and then just string together a good fight, second, it's very much possible, but it's a tall order, to say the least. Let's see exactly what they want to bring out on the offensive side for Immortals. But so far, looking as if they want to go for that dive comp again. Immortals, they got to make it happen. At least first point to draw it out, but man, they would sure love to put an end to the series right here by being able to grab 2 points. But in order for them to do that, they're really going to need 2 quick capture, or a quick fight on first. And Ube getting a hook onto Grim Reality to start it off is already going to hold up Immortals quite a bit. And Hype now just about to go down to Spree. So it will be holding off for now, Immortals. They're going to be waiting as well for the hook opportunity around the corner. Sneaky sneak.
Immortals still holding on to the dive composition here.
Oh. Flying in agilities. Ethan going down early again. I don't know if I like the dive comp out of Immortals here. I think they can do something that they can play these guys straight up with a normal composition, I think, a standard setup. I don't think they need to go dive for it.
I generally like the dive on the first point, but so far, Luminosity's just had their... know exactly where Immortals are going to go with it, and they're getting early picks here to start off each one of these fights.
Yeah, and Immortals, they got to get themselves in with that. Nami has switched over to Reinhardt. I don't know if we're going to see any more switch-ups from the rest of Immortals, but they are starting to go back to a bit more of a standard comp. Oh, and Agility's getting hooked in, shut down by Ube. I mean, when are these guys going to learn? You got to stand behind the Rein shield or something when you're going. I mean, or at least wait till Ube's not looking at you, because they just continued to get picked by him early every single time. Now down to 1 minute and 30. There's almost no chance of Immortals getting both points. At the very least, they're going to be able to draw here, but that's going to be about it. It'll take a miracle to win.
Either way, it's going to be a draw, either a draw in the overall scoreline or a draw in this individual match. Luminosity with 5 ultimates online. Immortals so far flailing with no real progress. They do have almost 5 of their own online. And they do have a chance here. 1 minute left on the clock or so. That can be one very quick and probably unwieldy offense, or sorry, 2 very quick and probably unwieldy offenses, or 1 well-composed offense. Looks like they're going to opt for the latter. It's Immortals restructuring, self-destruct being thrown into the side of Immortals, and Icefelt's going to come up with 2, Ube following it up. Both supports already gone for Immortals as Luminosity just cascades pain on top of them. Oh, Hype being pulled forward, and that's going to be a stagger situation as well. Even more time bled off the clock for Immortals. 30 seconds left, perhaps enough time to get everybody together and mount what will be a very sketchy assault. Perhaps they can come up with it. They do have a lot of ultimates to use here, basically almost all 6. Luminosity burning the vast majority of those in that last fight. Might have been a misstep here. Super Pluke, though, holding onto an Earth Shatter, and that could very well be everything they need.
Well, Ethan, again, these guys are getting picked off by Ube's hooks. I mean, this time Immortals are at least starting to get some kills, but they lose Nami. The very best they're going to get out of this is the first point. I think they might just get that, but they're going to have about 10 seconds. I mean, hardly any time at all to even get to the next point after getting this first one. They're going to have to start sending people forward to get themselves onto the point. Hyped is going to get there in time, but they have 30 seconds after getting that point. So it's a last dash attempt from Immortals. They have the opportunity to take it, and they're going to have an Earth Shatter and a Nano Boost, but Ube is up on May, and all he wants to do is just stall this one out, though. An Earth Shatter from Nami. He's going to come in, get a couple of kills. Immortals, opportunity to make it happen as Super Pluke still on the point, but they're continuing to lose players. Immortals, they need to come up with kills, and that is not going to happen for them. Agilities with the Dragon Blade is pretty much going to have to secure it for them off of a very big... Oh, Hyped comes through with 2 kills off of the self-destruct, but Agilities has got to stay on the point for them. Agilities coming through with kills. Immortals actually might be able to do it if they can get their players back onto the point. Super Pluke is still there. They need to find this kill quickly if they want to make it happen. Super Pluke goes down. They'll start to continue to put time onto the point. Mineral, easy pickings there on the point as well. Ube going down. Can Immortals make this happen? I didn't think it was possible. Spree will come back to the point on Tracer. They need to get all their guys up here, Immortals, and get these guys off the point. Spree falling. Immortals still getting the kills on the point. And how are they making it happen, though? The Earth Shatter coming through as well. Thunder Shatter came through from Super Pluke. It did. Super Pluke managed to get a couple of kills. They still have a lot of players on the point here, Immortals, but they... Oh, Luminosity's just stalling and stalling. Now the Dragon Blade out from Agility's just trying to cut through these guys finally to get the win, and they are so darn close. They have bodies on the point. Immortals making it happen. In the dying seconds, I don't know how they pulled that off. Oh my goodness.
I think Agility's just killed 4 different whole teams of Luminosity.
Oh my goodness, and with 2 Dragon Blades in 1 fight. That was about the most like awesome way that this could have ended right there. The